What's up, y'all? We out here in the Hawk 250. Man, busy city day. It's the day after Thanksgiving. I thought it was going to be a quiet day. I went to the post office this morning. Traffic was crazy. People were cutting each other off and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, before I go out and get some practice in today, I already checked to see if there was any leaks or anything from the oil change that we did. What I need to do is take the headlight off so that I can remove the speedometer cable. And I did some checking on the internet to see which cable I need to replace that one with. And there was one of my fellow Ohio YouTubers that had one in a link that was recommended, but it's out of stock on both Amazon and Walmart. So I'm going to try to find my own replacement. Alright, I know we have a little sun glare going on, but there are only a couple screws that we need to take out. I think there's one on each side, and maybe a third. Factory screws, and they have a washer. Set that down right here and go to the other side. The cat next door is going crazy, y'all. This one on this side. Left-handed action, y'all. Not too difficult. Stick it to my glove. Screwdriver, stick it to my glove. And then turn it. Okay. Don't want to drop it in there. Go looking for it. And then it's held in place by these little notches. I think it just lifts out. Yeah, that's all to it. I want to set it up here so I don't put any stress on the wiring. So I'll sit up there. Good, make sure it's not going to fall. That'd be the worst. Okay, so we're just disconnecting the speedometer cable. There it is right there. Probably on there really snug. Is it tight? Yeah. So we're gonna undo the bottom first to try to release some tension on it. And then we'll go ahead and disconnect it. Is that a worn? Yeah, there's a worn outer shell on the clutch cable. Glad I noticed that. So this we're gonna have to put some cushion there because that's a sharp edge. Sharp edge right there. Starting to wear away at the clutch cable. Outer shell. You need to put a protective barrier there. Or make sure that's lifted up higher. That might help. We'll see what we can do. This type of sheath right here will be a good start. But I have some electrical tape. We're gonna put a really thick wad of that on there. Actually, you know, I don't wanna impair the movement of the cable at this point. I have to be really careful. The sheath will be better. Yeah, we'll get one. I have some in the house somewhere. So let's take this cable apart at the bottom part. Look, no wonder. It's bound up on the horn again. That's what actually caused the problem to begin with. And as you can see, it's recurring. So when we put the new cable in there, we're gonna reroute it to make sure it doesn't go anywhere near this. That's also the reason why I don't have any slack enough to loosen it up. So let's go ahead and turn this handlebars. under handlebars, loosen up the slack. See how it gets caught back there? Just to make sure it's going to be a little bit shorter or something. Now we should be able to loosen it. I'll use the vice grips since they're handy. I can reach behind this fork. Let me get a second to loosen it up with both hands. Took about a quarter turn to loosen it up, just by going underneath it like this with the vice grips and giving that little turn was enough to loosen it up. To remove it by hand. So the most important part is we want to make sure that it's long enough, not too long. Is it broken in there? Okay, that's part of that's the shaft. We want to make sure the ends are correct. So the one I was looking at did have this type of end on it. There were several that had the same, like a point coming out. So yeah, okay. This one has like a slotted pin. It's less than a 1/4 inch diameter. Let's go on to the other. See if this one is just as easy to loosen up. Just get a little grip on it. I get the whole vice grips around this. Okay, got a little grip on it. And give it a little. I don't really have a grip. Okay, I need 2 hands again. But the same thing, I'm just going to get a little grip and give it a little 1/4 turn lefty. This one was a little bit harder to grip because the angle, and then it moves around a little bit when you try to grip it. So let's go ahead and loosen this up and see what type of connector we have on this side. This reminds me of like a coaxial cable or RF cable wire, like you hook your cable box up to, or your Wi-Fi. So this one has the pin. So both connectors look fine. The problem we have was the cable itself getting bound up on the horn. Just a malfunction. Mechanical malfunction, I guess you want to call it. The equipment didn't really fail, but the way it was designed, the way it was set up, did. So the first thing we need to do is measure the length of the cable. Well, the second thing, because the first thing was getting the size of the connectors. The next thing is going to measure the length, and we'll try to find one of the recommended ones to match up as close as possible to this one, including the diameter of the screws. I think it's like a 3/8. I'm not just guessing now, but we'll find out. We'll cross-reference it with the one that was recommended before. So I went hunting for the electrical tape so I can put a type of sheath on this clutch cable so it wouldn't wear anymore. But I couldn't find it right away. And I always like to find another way to do things, so, innovation. How far down does this go? That's protecting against the lower part. I should have that sheath come all the way up here. I use this piece of aluminum foil, just had laying around. I was thinking if I should throw it in the recycle bin or in the trash. So I'm going to fold it up nice and neatly and wrap it around here. Anything to help, right? That's a non-conductive metal cell underneath the cord. So I'm sure this will help. I might get back in here later with that electrical tape to help secure this so it doesn't slide around. if it's laying up against that speedometer, it's not gonna move around anyway. I'll double check that later on, see how it's doing. I don't think this part's going to be visible. If it is, we'll just poke it down there a little bit. So when you're reinstalling the headlight, you have to be really careful with the wiring and the alignment. And just double check everything before you push all the way in and secure it, that you're not pinching any wiring, because you have to get that screw back pretty far. The hole back pretty far. Get the screw in. So just double check you're not pinching any wiring like we were pinching that clutch cable. But I think that was just designed. We're gonna get this screw in. Get everything all lined up. Moving around freely, looks like there's no wires touching. So I can reach around and feel the wires as if they're moved easily, not being pinched, bound up. Now just reach around. Make sure all the wires move freely. Check that before and after. Before and after you tighten it up. Make sure the wires are not bound up in there. The next step is to order a cable. But before we do that, we're gonna ride the Hulk. You know, I actually just put in an Amazon order today. I wasn't even thinking about that cable earlier. I was, but I had something else on my mind. So we'll put in another order. We'll get that cable and see if we can find anything else we really need for the Hulk. Don't want to get a bunch of stuff we don't really need. Oh, before I ride it, also, I'm going to double check the level of the oil. Make sure I'm on a flat surface. Actually, I think it may have been just a smidgen low. Let's take a look in the window. Takes a minute to start to go up. So if it's half full, then it's good, right? It looks like it's exactly half full. Think I need to take it up anymore? I don't have a rag to check the dipstick, but that's pretty much half. I'm sure we're good. Also, before I ride it today, I wanted to check to make sure that it didn't move. The shock level adjustment here that I made for the sag on the bike, and it hasn't moved at all. Everything looks really good in the Hulk, y'all. Let's get geared up.